The story of the Bougainville crisis has been told many times before, and certainly by more relevant people than myself. But we decided to start our journey here to recollect the history of the relationship between the European Union and Papua New Guinea. Because the concept of a modern Europe was also built on the ashes of a major conflict. And it was only in the years that followed that the idea of jointly sharing our natural resources brought peace in the continent for the first time in our history. A similar concept of solidarity was brought to Bougainville by the EU to rebuild a society that had been torn apart by nearly 10 years of civil war. What is left of the Panguna mine today is just a distant memory of what used to be one of the largest copper and gold mines in the world, where thousands of people were employed at the peak of production. The sound of the heavy machinery now is all gone, and so are the people. Apart from the few who perhaps never left this land. It is on the ashes of this socio-economic tragedy that we begin our journey across Papua New Guinea, starting, of course, from the land itself.
Conflict started in 1989, and at that time the farmers would sell to their cooperative societies, and that's how they used to generate money for the family. Because of the war, people were not safe anymore. They were told by the people to move beyond 8 kilometers because that was the range of the mortars that were being fired from the ship. They deserted their farms. They deserted their villages, they deserted their animals, everything, and they just move away.
People lost everything. Some of them lost their lives, even the relatives. So their houses were burned down by the PNG Defense Force or the BRA. My land was abandoned during the war.
The overall direction of the national government and the Prime Minister, Bill Skate, at the time, was to bring about peace and normalcy as a matter of urgency or as soon as we possibly can. Most of the donors were able to actually understand that and be able to put into the designs of their projects that as to how it would contribute and thereabout bring back a normal situation. Possibly easier said than done, but it needed people that went in with confidence, and I suppose you put your heart in it. For me, it was no longer a paid job anymore. I went in there because I loved the people.
Tens of millions were invested by the European Union into the cocoa research and development program. The industry was really producing about 0.2 tons per hectare of cocoa at that time. The productivity was extremely low. And so significant resources and efforts were needed in research to try and increase that low productivity.
Dr. John Moxon, who was the head of the Coconut Research Institute, they had just just released some of the best cocoa clones as you came out of that crisis. The timing was almost almost perfect for that. So he was able to say, let's take the best clones to Bougainville.
The EU planting material is a hybrid and new technology, and they were fast growing.
Resistant to pests and diseases. Our record indicates that 15 to 20 million seeds were given out to the farmers throughout the region. Yes, it changed my life and also changed the life of Bougainvilleans.
Some of these ethnic groups, opponents, those for the PNG government came down into the village, and the ones who lived in the centers came back together, rebuild their lives, like build their houses, make their new gardens. They conducted reconciliations among themselves. So when cocoa came in, binded everyone.
This is an example of a feeder road that the European Union rehabilitated. Because of the crisis, this was overgrown and accessibility was basically zero. On this particular stretch of road, this is about 20 kilometers, just around 300,000 kina. And we were not going to build highways. We were just rehabilitating them so that they have access to services. It is so important. Even today, Bougainville is still looking at feeder roads. Everywhere we go, the government goes, the people are asking for feeder roads.
Building roads is not at the center of the EU intervention in Papua New Guinea anymore. Even though millions of euros were spent in the past in rehabilitating roads all over the country, and not only in Bougainville. Social mobility, after all, is one of the core values of the European Union, as it is hard to imagine a brighter future unless we all find a way to be connected with each other.
Si può fare, si può prendere o lasciare, si può fare, puoi correre e volare, puoi cantare, puoi gridare, puoi vendere e comprare, puoi rubare e regalare, puoi piangere e ballare, si può fare, puoi prendere o lasciare, puoi volere, puoi lottare, fermarti e rinunciare, si può fare, puoi prendere o lasciare, si può crescere e cambiare, continuare a navigare. Si può fare, si può prendere o lasciare, si può fare, partire e ritornare, puoi tradire e conquistare, puoi dire e poi negare, puoi giocare, lavorare, odiare e poi amare, si può fare, puoi prendere o lasciare, puoi volere, puoi lottare, fermarti e rinunciare, si può fare, puoi prendere o lasciare, si può crescere e cambiare, continuare a navigare.